Good morning, good people. This is your PooleProof wisdom moment. Listen, how are you with your personal history? You know, your origin story, so to speak. So many of us today are trying to run from the past, who we were, the conditions under which we grew up, everything that helped define us so that the person that we are today exists. Now, when I was a kid, I wasn't that happy with my personal story, having a situation where we were poor, a period where we were homeless. People made fun of us. They ridiculed us. They attacked. And they did a lot of other things. The history that I lived with and lived through was not one that I want to reveal to anyone. Most people happen to know it. As I grew older, that story was something that I either had a choice of embracing or ignoring. And for a little while, admittedly, I did ignore it. But let me tell you that what I have learned now informs my perspective that my personal history is a foundational strength. It is the very thing that has helped me understand so much about not only who I am, but to appreciate and understand other people in the world and what they're dealing with and going through. My personal history is no longer something I'm ashamed of. I do not run from it. I embrace it. I tell the story repeatedly, and I let people know everything that you've been helps you become everything that you are and can yet be. Your personal history is not something to be ashamed of because it has helped you to understand the very nature of what makes you tick. It helps you to appreciate your unique qualities. It even tells you the stuff about yourself that may come from trauma, that may come from circumstances that taught you bad things, all of which, of course, helps you to understand the things about yourself which still suck. That's part of the growth process, is to realize how imperfectly perfect we are. We aren't ever in a position where we will be 100% perfect. That comes from understanding that life itself is not perfect. It's just life. And as you live into the span of your life, the length of your years, you come to appreciate that something that you've dealt with that makes you feel a certain way, that you even understand is probably not the best way to feel or think about it, let alone act on it. It helps you to realize you still have work to do and to be open to that work no matter what. You have power that you haven't even begun to tap into yet, good people. You have an understanding of what you've experienced that no one else, aside from anyone who has gone through it with you, you know, those are the people you can go back to now and say, remember when this happened? Aside from you and those people, no one else necessarily understands what you've been through, how you lived through it, and how you're here today. But you do. And it's that knowledge that you must use to propel yourself forward when you think that your personal narrative is unimportant. Think about the ancestors in your life. Think about your people. Think about your experiences, the traditions, all the things that make up who you are based on that personal story, that narrative. And you will come to appreciate how fortunate you are to be the living embodiment of all the good things, all the bad things, and all the in-betweens that has made you the person that you are today. That's someone who's hopeful, who trusts in his or her faith, who loves, who understands, who forgives. And once you're able to do that, you are able to share the process by which you have come to understand that with others so that they can too find their path to whomever they are becoming themselves. What a wonderful gift it is to have a backstory, to have a personal history, and to know it inherently so that you can share it widely with anyone who is open to their own personal growth. And that is your PooleProof Wisdom moment for today. You can find my podcast, PooleProof Wisdom, on podcast platforms everywhere. You can also find my latest book, I Am My Own Cause, The Third Act, Surviving and Thriving, on Audible, on Amazon, and online booksellers everywhere. That book, that podcast, it's a reflection of the backstory that I've mentioned to you today. Look a little deeper, people. Dig a little deeper. Find your backstory. Learn to embrace it, love it, and when you get there, share it. Have a great day, everybody.